All right, welcome to the Bean Apple. We are live before the Giants-Eagles game. I'm here with John and Jim has sobered up from the loss last week and took his dress off and put on something even uglier. But thank you for thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're streaming live. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure that you get them in. If you're following us on Facebook, you can go on there and call in to the show if you would like, and reach us that way. So please check out the Bean Apple and let's get rolling. So we got the Giants Eagles tonight. So the pursuit place is still going strong. We predicted what 2 weeks ago now that the Giants were going to make that push for first and be in first place in 3 weeks, and now I know you laugh about it, but look who got hurt. Who went on IR this week? Zach Ertz. Who are they going to throw the ball to? You know, so huge swing for the Giants tonight going into this game. Deshaun Jackson's supposed to be back, but it looks like Alshon Jeffrey's going to miss the game. I haven't seen the inactive active list yet, getting this all set up, but I think Jeffrey's out.
Jeffries is out. Jeffries is out.
So you've got Deshaun Jackson and you've got the Fulgham kid that had an explosive game, but that's about it. Sanders is out, so you're going with Boston Scott at running back. Like they're decimated. This should be an easy win for the Giants. But John, what do you think?
So you say easy win for the Giants?
I guess that is kind of
like oxymoron, I believe. But or if you're a moron, I don't know. But
easy.
So I started kind of throwing matchups together for the Giants and Eagles tonight. So running back, I mean, it's probably a wash, but I did look that Scott ran for like 437 yards and 4 touchdowns last year in 2 games against the Giants. So, okay, so I'm going to give the running game to Scott. Wide receivers, I mean, let's just call it a push where it is. We still got my boy out there trying to make some plays with Slayton, but they don't have much to throw to. But they are activating Shepard, I believe, right?
Yeah, he is.
So Shepard's active. So, Deshaun Jackson, how much does he have left? I don't know. I guess we'll see. So wide receivers, maybe the Giants only because Shepard's coming back, but I mean he hasn't played in a while either. So and then we go to tight ends. Doesn't matter. We got to go with the Giants there, especially with Ertz out. But then we go to quarterback, and Wentz has been basically throwing to a hodgepodge of receivers all year. We kind of look at the defenses too, but quarterbacks, I got to give it to Wentz. I do, unless Jones starts running the ball. Is Jones going to run the ball again? Because look what he did last week, Joe. Just like we were talking through text. Kind of like we knew what we were talking about.
Defenses. We talked about it on the show too. We talked about it on here. Is finding your weapon. Like when Jason Garrett was talking about, we don't really know who we are yet and who our best offensive weapons are. We said Ingram, Jones's legs, and Darius Slayton. Those are your weapons, right. And they are all been involved in surprise, the Giants win. Right? Like
exactly.
Super hard to figure out.
Agreed. Defense, I don't know where to go with that, to be quite honest, because both teams are kind of weak in that department in a way. So, and then it comes to coaching. I don't know, Peterson versus Judge. I guess we'll see. Obviously, Peterson has been around a little bit longer. Is that going to mean anything? I don't even know. But I'm going with Philly tonight. I just, watching the not film, but the replay of the Giants and Redskins game when they won. Washington could have kept that. They could have kicked the extra point, went into overtime. I'm shocked they didn't because of how close the division is. I think a tie in this division would be better than a loss, and who knows what would have happened in overtime. I'm going to go with the Eagles, of course. Jim, I know you're not going to.
You don't think so?
Every game.
You don't think so?
But I'm going to go Philly. I think it's funny. We were talking in work today with Tyler, who always watches the show, who's on our fantasy team and also the Pick'em. and we were kind of talking, and we're like, is this going to be a 13-9 NFC East game, or is it going to be a 42-30, 38 game? So I hope it's a 42-38 game, just so it's somewhat exciting. And they are both playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah,
I mean, they truly are. With
one win each.
With one win, and we started talking a 6-10 team or 5 and.
Yeah.
I mean, how can that happen? I have a feeling it may this year, because no team is going to take over this division. It's just I don't see it. I don't know. If they win a Super Bowl, it'd be quite humorous, and it'd be funny watching a 6-10 team pick 32. That's all.
Yeah. You're right. You're right about that. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's right. I bleed Giants blue, right? So I'm of course I'm going with the Giants. I'm not taking the Eagles. I don't care if they're playing at the Link down in Philly, but right, the Giants head down to Turnpike, 90 minutes and almost play a home game. But sort of the scary thing is the Giants haven't beaten the Eagles since 2016, and you wouldn't think that, but I mean, The last couple of years with Eli and last year with Jones, it's been 4 years since we beat them. So hell, it's time enough that the Giants win, right? So, but again, NFC East 5-18-1. What a division! I mean, points for 523, points against 707. Wow! I mean that every single team has been outscored in the division. When does this happen? I'd love to go back and look and see when a division's looked like this after 6 games. Incredible, right? Incredible. Just totally upside down. But someone's got to win, right? So you got to win the divisional games. They beat Washington. However they beat them, they got the W. It doesn't matter. Ron Rivera wanted to go for it. He could have been the hero. If they make it, and I'll tell you what, it was a long day for the defense on the field. And I was nervous that, man, they're tired. It was a long drive. He called back that punt. He took the penalty and went down in 4th and 3 and went down the field on the Giants and scored and took it right to the last play of the game, really. And the Giants were able to. The defense held up, and I said on the last show, they could have easily gave up. Slayton went crawling off. Jabril Peppers went crawling off. Guys were hurt. And at the end of the game, those guys were back on the field playing, trying to get that W. So that to me showed me a lot. I think the defense has played better. And I don't think it's going to be a 42-38 game, especially when it's 4.5 point spread. You'd win if you took the points there. But
5 now. 5.
It's 5 now? Wow.
Yeah.
It actually opened up at like 7 or 8 and then came down. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Deshaun Jackson coming back swayed that or not, but yeah, I mean, you look at Wentz, 8 TDs, 9 interceptions versus Jones with 3 and 6 INTs, right? I mean, Jones has to not self-destruct, right? He can't force the play. He can't stay in the. He's got to get better at reading. Hey, they're coming at me. I don't know why he locks in, and they've talked about it. I forget what game I was watching. There's a red stripe on the Giants helmet, and they're like, all you gotta do is watch the red, because if he's looking at Ingram, he doesn't get off Ingram. He stays on Ingram. He's got to get better at playing off the defense, right, and making a move, and so far he hasn't done it. And I don't know why. I mean, you think somebody in the coaching would say, hey, man, you got to be looking off 1, 2, 3, and then go back to your first option. You can't just lock in on one and then try and drill it into a keyhole to get it to him. You have to get better. So,
yeah, it's going to be this game. I want to give it to the Giants. I keep making this mistake, and I said I wasn't going to do it again. But the injuries on the Eagles, it's going to
be devastating if the Giants lose. With this opportunity to win 2 in a row, and like I said, we can be on track now. We got Tom Brady next week, which I told you in the preseason we're winning at home. So we got Tampa Bay next week, then we got Washington and Philly again after that. So in reality, it could be 5 in a row, or maybe 4 to 5 if Brady gets lucky. And then we got the Bengals, your boys' team there, Cincinnati coming. I don't know if it's at Cincy or home, but yeah, I mean, this is a stretch.
Giants are going to win 12 games.
This is the stretch of the season that's going to make or break what happens. I mean, and granted, Dallas has Washington and Philly coming up as well. But I mean, the way Dallas looked with Dalton back there, the red rifle, right? What did he do? Nothing. In all game, the announcers, right? The announcers are saying this is the best off-season acquisition. They got a guy that can step in and do what? He couldn't do anything. Come on.
Oh, it was terrible.
Dallas is going nowhere.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like that. It's not our teams and it's not this game, but what. And I put it on our Twitter page was what the Dolphins did to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like the Jets ruin people's seasons on other teams. Like Fitzpatrick played so good that they pulled him out of the game, and now he's not a starting quarterback anymore.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. He was so happy. He was cheering when Tua came in for the crowd to get up, and now they sit. How do you sit Fitzpatrick now?
I don't know.
What did he do? 3-3. They actually have a shot.
I don't get it.
Like doing something. I mean, they truly do.
It makes no sense.
Mind blowing.
Yeah,
it's disappointing. It's very, very disappointing. And Jim, you're not going to like it, but they need to trade him. The Cowboys should be on the phone with Miami saying, "What do you want? What do you want for him?"
Fitzmagic?
Yeah. I mean, you're in a wide open division. You've seen what Andy Dalton can do for you, which is very little. What did the one touchdown they had? What did they have? Like eight attempts at that with like 2 separate penalties in the end zone. I think it was like
horrible.
8 separate attempts before he could complete a one-yard pass. Like that shows you what you've got. And you're in a division, like you said, where 2 wins has you in first place.
Mm-hmm.
Fitzpatrick just got benched. 2 is the future. They're not going to go back to Fitzpatrick at this point. You can't do it unless Tua gets injured. So,
well, if the kid really struggles, like Baker Mayfield, they're going to send him back down and put Fitzpatrick. They're not going to ride the kid if he loses the next 3 games. No way.
I don't know.
How do you can't pull him out?
They just to see how he reacts, just to see how he is. I don't know. Yeah. That was confusing because he's not playing bad, but you know what? You know what you get from Fitz.
Yeah.
You just do. This is the best you're going to get from him. And it's probably 3-3. It probably truly is 3-3, and they know that. Mm-hmm. And Fitz knows his role. He even said it. God, I want to say a couple of weeks ago. I know this is not my team. I know I'm a placeholder. So he kind of knows what's going on. But I mean, to pull him now when you're 3-3, and I mean Buffalo's playing has a very tough matchup this week.
They do. It's going to be tough not to score 35.
It's going to be tough not to score 60 points is what it's going to be. So let's give Buffalo the win already. I mean, before we even talk about the Jets, Buffalo's going to go 5-2, and now everyone's going to be talking about Buffalo like they're a Super Bowl team, but they're not either.
No,
I mean they've proved against 2 good teams they don't play well. So, unfortunately, Joe, they're going to have something to prove this week, and I feel bad for the Jets.
Well, yeah. We'll get
to that. I mean, we said preseason that Buffalo was winning the division, so we knew they were going to be the strongest team. And I don't see that changing, but unless John may have something to say about that. But
no, I truly don't. And we'll get into that when we talk about the Pats.
Yeah.
For the Giants, I think they're like we broke it down a couple weeks ago. Their path to first place is legitimate. Like this game tonight is winnable. And then you've got the Cowboys. Cowboys play the Eagles next week. So you've got your first and second place guys right now battling it out for that. But if the Eagles lose tonight, then you've got 2 wins for the Giants, 2 wins for the Cowboys. If the Eagles-Cowboys game, however that plays out, you're gaining a game over somebody else, and then after that, I think they play the Cowboys again. Or Washington, somebody. And like you said, the schedule gets easy. This is an easy stretch. If the Giants are going to make a run, this is when they do it. And that's where if I'm Jerry Jones and I love to spend money and make bad decisions, make a good one. Call Miami, say, I'll give you a 3rd round, a 4th round for Fitzpatrick. Bring him in here and win the division.
Right.
Because he could win you the division with Zeke, with CeeDee Lamb, with Cooper, with Gallup.
Right. They got the offense. They got the weapons. You just need somebody to get it to him.
Right. And you saw what Dak would – I mean, Fitz can air him out with just as well as anybody. So if that happens, I retract my statement on the Giants taking first place because I think Fitz would –
yeah, but here's what's scary. Go ahead, John.
Well, what I was going to say is Andy Dalton played 1 game. He only started 1 game. That offense was rolling with Dak. They weren't playing terrible because of Dak. They weren't. So here comes Andy Dalton. We cannot expect Andy Dalton to do kind of what Dak did. I mean, the guy barely played last year. So
Right.
a lot of rust. And I think when he came in and threw that touchdown and Dallas ended up winning, I think people got very excited about it. But now he had time to think. He had time to think for a week, and he played a tough Arizona team, but he still looked terrible. He just did. But Zeke fumbling the ball twice in the first 5 or 6 handoffs. I mean, there was
When does that happen? Right?
No, Andy Dalton's going to need Zeke to run well, and they ended up going with the backup there for quite a few plays. And
they sat him. They benched him for a little bit.
I mean, they benched him for a while, so I don't think Andy Dalton's going to be as bad as we seen him last week. But I think you're right. I think you throw Fitz on there, somebody that's been playing the last umpteen years in mop-up duty. He can walk in and probably pick up that offense. But I think we'll see a better Andy Dalton. And again, I'm not defending him. I just don't think he's going to be this bad.
I mean, so you think about Dalton versus Prescott. You're taking Prescott all day long, and they weren't winning with Prescott either. I mean, they were under 500 with Prescott. So with all the weapons, right? There's no injuries on that team. You got Zeke, you got the receivers, you're loaded, and they couldn't win. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Everybody figured they'd run away with the division, and they should have, because the rest of the teams aren't doing anything. But they sat back, and now Dak's out, and they're going to go nowhere with Dalton. So I'm not expecting anything from them. And I was really surprised by Zeke's play. I mean, I watched both of those fumbles, and I was like, it's like his head wasn't even in the game. He was just, I don't know if he's just so disappointed or upset that Dak is out and they came in together. But, man, that was brutal to watch.
He's having a weird year, too. That's his 4th fumble of the year. He's had 5 fumbles in his career.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell's going on?
Right. So it's very, very strange to see. But
his play did win me a fantasy game, though. I was only up by like 16 or something like that, and I seen Zeke fumble the first couple times, and I ended up beating my son by like 3. So had Zeke got in from the 1 when they tried him twice, which he didn't, I was pretty pumped. So thanks, Zeke.
Yeah. So I mean, back to the Giants though. So enough about Dallas.
First.
Yeah, well, not for long, but not for only for a couple more hours, maybe. They'll have sole possession. But really, it's gonna be up to the line. I mean, Will Hernandez, and Kevin Zeitler and Gates, they gotta keep that line off. Fletcher Cox and Sweat and company, they gotta give Jones some time, right? And like we said, Jones got to be able to 1,000, 2,000, tuck and run. Right, you can't be back there and looking or locked in on Ingram and waiting, and then just get blindsided and the ball comes out and the guy runs it in. We got to be quicker, and I'm hoping Judge. I mean, I really like Judge's shows. I mean, you guys don't see it, but locally, Judge does the Joe Judge report, and he calls out all the different plays or whatever. And a really knowledgeable guy, really intelligent, really like him. And it was really exciting to see him get the game ball last week after they got the first win. And I think the team was really rallying to do that for him because I think they do believe in him. But, I mean, Jones has been pressured 44% of the time, which is the 3rd highest in the league. I mean, and the kid's tough. I mean, he does get hit a lot. Even when he runs, he gets hit. And he's got to get better about, like we talked about with Prescott, getting out of bounds. You don't need to take the hit. Get down, get out, jump out, throw the ball away. Don't keep getting hit. There's no future in getting hit after hit after hit, right? It's going to wear you out. But, limit the turnovers, control the clock, just execute first downs and get up and down the field and really use the guys you have, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Give them some time. Hopefully Freeman can do something or at least help out the line if we need some help getting Jones some time. But I'm taking the Giants. There's no way around it. I think the Giants win down there. Easy, John. John's sitting up. He's getting ready. But how can I not take them? How can I? When I look at that injury report alone, I got to take them. I got to take the Giants. Yeah. I mean, I said it all along. This is the part of the season I was waiting for. Later on we got Seattle and Arizona and Baltimore, which is a tough ending. But this is the section of the schedule right here where we got to go to work. This is it.
Yeah. And So for me, this is what you want as a Giants fan. This is where you start to evaluate what Daniel Jones is, right? So
Mhm.
look at the stats between them right now. The season statistics. Daniel Jones is 123 on 201 attempts, passing attempts, for 1,223 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You're not excited about that as a Giants fan. But on the flip side, Carson Wentz has got 138 completions on 235 attempts. So pretty close
Mhm.
when you compare those numbers. 1,401 yards. So that's still equivalent across the board. 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So you're talking about, two very comparable quarterbacks right now. Before the season, I don't think you would say that, but right now, I think it's pretty clear that they're relatively close together. But then you add in Daniel Jones's rushing, 27 rushes for 204 yards, and that again is going to be what this game I think comes down to. But it's going to be a quarterback game, and this is as a Giants fan, this is what you want to see. You've got
Mhm.
Daniel Jones, your young guy, going up against Wentz. He's experienced. He's good under pressure. We've seen him come back in big games and make comebacks. I think last week they made a hard charge to come back in that game too. So he can do that. So can Jones do anything to get ahead in this game, to get that team ahead, to take control of the game early and hold on to it, or are they going to fall behind? Is the defense going to waver? And Boston Scott, he, like you said, Johnny, had good numbers last year. If Scott takes off in this game early and then Jones has to play catch up, Jones does not play catch up very well. So if you could take the pressure off of him, let the Giants get the lead early, and then let your running game kind of control the pace of the game. Let Jones make the completions. Let him move as he needs to. I think the Giants have an easier path to victory. But if they can't do that, the Eagles get ahead. The defense is playing tough. It's a home game. It's
Mhm.
televised, and there's one thing that you can count on when the camera is on, the national spotlight is on, is Deshaun Jackson's going to play. And that's
Mm.
what you've got to worry about. Anytime that it's a
Yeah.
national, if it's
Very
a
true.
Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday night, and Deshaun Jackson gets a chance to be on television, expect an 80-yard touchdown. It's just, and then he'll pull a hamstring in the fourth quarter, and he'll be done for
Right.
like 4 games. He went too hard. But
Re-injury. Yep. Re-injury.
but Deshaun Jackson's going to be, I think, your biggest issue. But he's got some good guys there. Between Jackson and Fulgham, that's going to be his targets. Can the defense, is the Giants defense good enough to shut the two of them down? Can anybody keep up with Deshaun Jackson? And is this Fulgham kid actually, is he
For real.
legit? Is this what it is, or was that just
Mhm.
an explosive game plan?
Yeah, I mean Jackson's not 100%. I don't think. I mean, so he's back. He's been out, I think, since week 3. He's been up and down, questionable, whatever. But I don't think he's 100%. And I think Bradbury and Logan Ryan and Lewis, these guys have been playing. The numbers may not show it, but the last couple of games I've been talking about it. The defense, to me, has been playing better. I know you look at the points, you look at whatever, but I feel like they are gel. I feel like that each week they're getting a little bit better, playing together, understanding. Fackrell on the line. I love him. Marcus Golden. I think there's guys that are definitely doing things, and as each week goes, they're growing together and gelling. And I think they will keep up with them. And I think they got to load up the box. And right, you got to either stop Boston Scott and go after Wentz isn't running. He can't even move. So you got to just get up there on him and throw it and try and let him try and find somebody, because it's not like he's got a bunch of weapons out there. I think you just got to come in and keep pressure on, bring extra guys up into the box, and try and get to him and knock him down a couple times. And we know what happens when that happens, right?
Yeah,
he limps off to the sideline and he's out. So
yeah, he plays the game to get injured. That's what he's.
Yeah. He's got all his
That's
braces
all he
on and
does.
everything, and I don't even know how he's moving, right? I mean,
Right. Yeah, he's like a 97-year-old quarterback out there. It looks like he whatever like Tom Brady is supposed to be feeling as like a 42-year-old man has been somehow like imported into.
he's taking it for him. He takes it for Brady. Yeah.
He does.
Let me take
of
that for you.
It's like a voodoo doll.
Take my pain, Carson Wentz. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Tom Brady, I will take your pain from you. It's
Yep.
disgusting. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm gonna go again with the Giants. I think I think that's I don't know why the Eagles are so favored. I mean, the matchup predictors got them as a 69% chance of winning to a 30% for the Giants on the power index. I don't see how is it that spread out when you don't have anything. Everybody, all your key players are hurt. I can't see it being that.
Yeah, I don't
wide of a
either. Oh,
disparity.
everything I see has them winning by 7 or 8, right? And I don't. To me, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I think it's like John likes to say, it's Vegas trying to take your money,
Vegas
and I'm not
your
laying
money.
my money. I'm not laying my money on the Eagles. I'm sorry.
I don't think I'd put any money on this game for either team, to be quite honest.
Well, I think so. We're doing a DraftKings captain's game with this game for a little bit of fun. So we're going with the Giants defense as the captain because I don't believe with all the injuries that the Eagles will keep up. So we got Jones, Wentz, Slayton, Fulham, and Graham Gano. Because there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game. So we'll see if that plays out. The Giants D is the captain.
Giants D.
Yeah.
Wow. So the Giants D, I'm going to say, is scoring points tonight. Giants D is going to score some points. Interception, pick six, fumble, run back. Somehow, I think the defense is going to have a hand in the victory tonight.
I think they're going to have to be quite honest.
That's fine.
Right.
The offense doesn't score much. You know what I mean?
So you're right.
But that may have to go for Philly too. You know,
let me see.
This will be a game of turnovers, to be quite honest. It's field position, close field, and then not take a stupid sack somewhere.
So if you're putting together a DraftKings team for tonight, the Giants the last 2 weeks, right? You're not going to think this makes any sense, but against Dallas, they scored 11 fantasy points, and against Washington, they scored 14.
There you go.
So
they're playing better.
And the captain positions, right? You get a 1.5 points.
Point and a half, right.
So you get a little bonus on that. So if the Giants D scores a regular 14 points again out of your captain spot, that's great because then it also allows you to put both quarterbacks in and both top wide receivers, which you can't do otherwise. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, they had last week an interception, a defensive fumble recovery, 3 sacks, and a defensive touchdown. Back-to-back defensive touchdowns, back-to-back weeks. So, like you said, Jim, the defense is playing better. I mean, they've played 2 bad teams, but so is Philly. Philly's a bad team too. They're not going up against a powerhouse.
No.
So I'm excited to see how that pays out. Hopefully, it pays out enough that we'll be doing this show full time. So I'll just pay you guys each week, and
I'll take it.
I don't think a captain's game pays that much, but we'll say
you never know. Never know.
Yeah, I'll charge some interest by the minute. But yeah, all right. So let's roll. So Giants for Jim. I'm going Giants, and John's going
Philly. I'm going Philly.
Are they covering the 5-point spread?
No, I honestly, again, I think it's going to be close. I do. I don't think it'll be a blowout either way. I hope it's high scoring. I hope it's 42-40. You know what I mean? So,
okay,
but it
so
won't.
It's
going to be 9-6. There'll be more runs than the Dodgers and Tampa Bay game probably tomorrow night.
There you go.
All right. So you're over under 44.5. What do you think?
I'm going under.
I'm going under too.
I'd go under.
Okay.
I think it's a control the clock game.
Because now you're talking 24-20-ish. 21-18 would still be under. Yeah, I'd say under.
Yeah.
I hope it's over, but I mean, by the looks of these 2 offenses, and I don't know.
I'm saying Giants 21-9. There you go.
21-9.
21-9.
20.
That's big.
Mark it down.
And one of those is a defensive touchdown, right?
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So since we're talking about picks, and before we go on to the Jets game, I can't remember who's winning in our picks, in our pick'em. I can't remember who's in first. So if you're watching right now, you should definitely pick Philly. That's all I'm going to say. I won't say who's in first out of us 3, but you should definitely pick Philly.
Well, to be fair,
Well,
So
I got something on that, to be fair, part two.
And
But go
I
ahead.
beat you too last week, Jim. I
Was
destroyed fantasy. Oh yeah,
Yeah, no, you did. You did. Well, what did my team? I had Prescott. I mean,
you were 4-0 the week before.
I was
was 4-0, and I
rolling.
beat him. I'm coming
Yeah.
alive.
I was
Well,
rolling,
yeah,
but
so-
now I scored like 50 points last week.
Yeah, you did. You had a
Yeah.
bad week. A real
Yeah.
bad week.
So John, you're looking pretty good in our pick'em at 57. You've
Yes.
got a 1 point lead. You've taken over from T Drake 91.
Tyler,
who's sitting
yeah, Tyler.
at 56 wins, and then myself, the Swami,
54.
Gangrene, and Burrow or Bust at 54. A four-way tie for third place, which is good because I was seated very comfortably in second to last. So
You were.
I've made a pretty nice comeback the last couple weeks to get back into contention. But I'm still sticking with the Giants, so that
I'll
makes
take a
me happy
1-point lead.
because now I get to
Mhm.
climb within 1 point of you. So I'm
Or you're
pretty
gonna
excited there.
climb
So
within
and by
4.
the way, cheers.
Shipyard? Both
Cheers.
of you? Wow. Wow. Hey, there's the.
It's my last one.
Mine too. Mine too. I get that was
So-
my last one in the fridge.
So really, I fell out of contention because I failed to put my picks in. I didn't put my picks in until Sunday night. So I have no picks. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, it was the 8 o'clock game, and I'm like, oh my god, I put nothing in, and every box was red.
Oh.
I lost them all.
That'll happen.
I don't even get a push. You think you get a push if you don't pick?
Yeah. You get
I mean,
zero.
come on. I didn't pick. If I didn't pick, how can I lose?
You didn't.
You didn't.
I don't
You got
think you
0
did. You
points.
lost, so.
Pushed. Yeah, whatever. You're right. I got 0 points. You're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so are the Jets playing this weekend?
So technically, they are required to show up to work this weekend. I don't know if you would call it playing so much.
They put a jersey on, like they put something on.
Right. They go out. It's like when you show up to work when you've been out partying all night and you're hungover. Like you're physically there, but you're absolutely
doing
useless. Yeah, you're not doing anything. So
There's no reason
going
to be there.
That's going to be the Jets against the Bills. And John, you kind of alluded to it earlier. The Bills have been getting pretty beat up and they've been looking pretty bad. And this is, I think that it's going to be the running joke for the Jets all year is it's going to be every team's get right game when they're having
right.
issues. Like
Mhm.
this is when you get to come in and you get to try plays that you're not too sure about, or some things we got to work on with some live competition. This is where it's at, because even if it goes completely wrong, you're still up by 3 touchdowns. So, so the Bills, they handled us pretty easy in the first matchup, and after seeing what the Dolphins did this past week, I feel bad for this team. I feel bad for the fact that they have to go out on the field and get the shit kicked out of them for 60 minutes. I mean, yeah, they're collecting a paycheck that's, all of them are substantially larger than mine. So I guess I can't really feel that bad. I would go out there and get blasted around the field too for a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 contract, much less millions of dollars. But pay me one of those for a season. I'll go out there, and whoever the hell wants to could just blindside me. I'll get back up again. But that's what that's what's going to happen to these guys this week. Hopefully Sam Darnold's coming back. I saw there's so much conversation on Darnold's not 100%. Why would you risk bringing him back now? Like, do you realize he's a football player, right? Like, football players play the game when they're dinged up, when they're hurt.
Mhm.
They don't. Nobody sits around and goes, "Well, there's still something there. I'm not going to." No, I can get out there and play. I'm going to go play. And we were talking about it in the green room before this. And I was talking to my buddy about it too. Is there's been three seasons now that Sam's been the quarterback of the Jets. He has not played a full season yet.
Mhm.
So all this talk about don't draft Trevor Lawrence. You got to stick with Sam. You got to go with it. He can't stay. He can't push through a whole season. He's either getting mono or he's getting hurt with one thing or another every single year.
Mhm.
That's not your starting quarterback. You can't have a starting quarterback that can't get through a season. And it's not even like he gets through most of the season. It's it's like Carson Wentz. He's 4 games into the season, he's hurt. 3 games into the season, he's hurt and missing games. And then you're in week 3, he's out for a month. Now you've lost 4 games in a row because they haven't won a game yet with him out of the lineup. They're over when Sam is out of the lineup. So He can't.
I think they're 0 for when he's in the lineup too. I think. Let me check.
Let me do the math. 0 plus 0 equals 0. Yes.
No, this year. I'm talking about his entire career.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So
not much.
0. What did they do last year? 2-14 or something?
No, they had 4 wins.
But they had 4 wins.
Okay. Oh.
Like the last 2 or 3.
Or no, they had 6 wins or something.
Okay.
What they have? Whatever we finished, it doesn't matter. It was
That's
just
relevant.
Run of the mill season. But I don't. It's Adam Gase's fault when it comes down to it. But Sam's he's got to show something, right? Like if you're the GM of this team, which I still don't know where he is because he hasn't said a word yet with all this stuff going on with Le'Veon Bell, and they're trading players left and right. Luckily, players I don't even know. They traded somebody to the Jordan Wills to the 49ers. I think his name is. He's played like 42 snaps, but they got a 6th round pick for him, which I don't know how, but congratulations. Very good wheeling and dealing. I guess that's what they're doing. They traded Steve McClendon right after the game to Tampa. So
imagine going from the Jets to Tampa.
I saw a really good meme about that. It said as soon as the Dolphins game ended, he got in his car and drove to Tampa. And they had like exclusive video of him, and it was Ace Ventura sticking his head out driving with the glasses on, all happy. Like, oh man,
hell yeah,
yeah. What does that feel like? That's got to be like getting let out of jail and being offered a CEO position somewhere.
Right.
Like,
there's probably a line of players at the office waiting in line. Can I go next? Pick me. I want to send me anywhere. I'll go anywhere.
Please be a red tag on my locker. Please be a red tag on my locker.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so brutal.
So let me. I'll talk about let's talk about a little bit of positive, right? So, as a Jets fan, you've got to have something to look forward to. So Denzel Mims is supposed to be back. He's supposed to make his NFL debut this week. So I'm excited to see what that is. There's a lot of hype about him coming out, talking about him. Any other year, he would be a 1st-round pick, but because of the wide receiver class this year and being so stacked that he slipped to the 2nd round, which they said he was a steal there. We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't blow both of his hamstrings again or something else, one of those weird, plantar fasciitis or Liz Frank injuries or some weird, central oblique strain or, one of those fun injuries. But hopefully he could stay on the field. I'd love to see. This is the first time that the Jets wide receiving core of Mims, Perriman, and Crowder are actually supposed to play together. So excited to see what that's going to look like. That's the only promise. If Darnold's back, which God, I hope he is, because Flacco looks like an absolute waste back there. So we'll get Sam in there. We'll actually get our starting 3 wide receivers. It'll be nice to see if there's anything there to work with. We already know Crowder. Crowder he's by far our best wide receiver, and he's probably one of the top slot receivers in the league. Production wise, I don't think you can argue with that. But then again, he's the only one getting the ball thrown to him. So
he'll be gone. He'll be gone next week.
That's what I mean. Are they going to trade him?
Yeah, actually, there was a lot of chatter this week up here about should they trade Darnold? Is now the time to trade Darnold? I mean, I don't know who. Maybe Dallas would look at him, but is now the time to put him up on the market and get some picks and ride it out with Flacco and end up in last and take the kid. And then if the kid stays back in school, then you got to figure out, how much to pay Fitzpatrick to come back. But I mean, that's what they were talking about today in New York. Here is it time that they go down tomorrow? I mean, this weekend and lose. And you just put him up on the market and see what you get for him. I don't know how many teams would even be looking for him, but I think Dallas may be interested.
I mean, you never know. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, the problem, like we talked about in earlier shows, is you don't really know what you got. The kid doesn't play a full season. So I was talking to my brother earlier, who's a Jet fan too. Everybody knows. I think my brother said Darnold has had in the last, what is he here, 3 years now?
3 years, yeah.
Last 3 years, 37 to 38 different receivers. I mean, it's constant change for this kid. Yeah. So he's not in all the games. His line changes. His coaches change. His wide receivers change. he's never settled in for any length of time to see what he can really do. So I don't think they know what to do because they don't really know what he can do. He's never had a chance to kind of be in a congealed unit, right? So, but yeah, they were talking about it today, and I think if somebody started sniffing around, asking, "Hey, man, I'll give you this or that for him," the Jets may bite.
What do you take for him? A fourth, a third? I don't see anybody giving up a second. You know what I mean? I can't. Maybe a fourth or a fifth. I don't know, because I just don't see a team giving up a top 3-round pick for a quarterback that they have no idea about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would be interesting, and that's why you need him to get back in the lineup. He's got to start playing, and he's got to start performing, or else what are you going to get? You can't get anything for a guy who can't get on the field.
Yeah. And the way the Jets have been doing things, they'll just cut him and let him go, or they'll take nothing. The way it's been happening, all the moves they're making, nothing's off the table right now. If I'm Jerry Jones, I call up and throw them anything and see if they bite on it. And in the way they've been doing stuff, they let everything happen. They let everything go. So, yeah, I think it's a possibility the kid doesn't make it through the season on the Jets. And he probably, like you said, jump in his car and take off. Leave his house. Leave everything. Keep everything. I'm out of here.
Call my agent. He'll take care of it.
He'll take care of it. Get a cleaning crew and I'm done.
I'll buy a new house. I don't care.
That's actually not the worst idea. I mean, if you're looking at it in that way, like why would you not? I guess if you're looking at a replacement in Dallas, do you want Fitzpatrick or do you want to take a chance with Darnold, who could potentially?
I would say Fitzpatrick. I think Fitzpatrick only because he's known. You know what I mean? You know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get 2 great games, and you may get 2 really bad games. Who knows? But
right.
I mean,
if Darnold looks like something, if he goes down there to Dallas where he can actually have some weapons to utilize, and he looks like something, now you just say, okay, well, thank you, Dak. Best of luck to you in your career. And now you get Darnold at a much cheaper rate because you could lock him up to a couple years off of for way cheaper than you.
Well, you'd get the 4th for the rookie, and then they'd have to, either pick up the 5th or do whatever. Right?
Yeah, or give him a contract.
Paying for him. What are you talking about? The Jets will pay for him, just like they did Le'Veon Bell. Same thing.
Isn't that next week?
They're not going to cut him.
Next week. They're paying for Le'Veon Bell to come in and beat the shit out of him.
That'll be part of the deal. We'll trade him, but we need you to pay half his salary. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see the initial line from Vegas on the Kansas City Jets game?
Oh, God, is it
right now?
17?
22.
Perfect. What is this, college?
22. And
I'm
2 weeks out.
Kansas City. I'd bet $10,000 on Kansas City.
Yeah.
And the problem is I'd only win 500. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah. So
you're right.
The other bad thing about this game is Crowder did pop up on the injury list. I don't know how significant it is.
Strained Fladuba, I think.
Yeah. But he did pop up. Him and Sam Ficken, they both popped up on the injury list. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like he's still practiced, but we'll see. Yeah, this game should be pretty ugly. But I'm excited to see that there's very few positives that you could take out of the Jets season, much less the Jets game. But if we can get Sam back in the game, we get the starting 3 wide receivers. See what's there. See if Mims is something. See Perriman's on a 1-year deal, and it's not looking like he's coming back for a 2nd year. He can't stay healthy. When he's on the field, he's just he's not a number 1, and that's what they were hoping with that crazy 5-game finish that he had in Tampa. That was the breakout for him, but history states otherwise. This was year 6, I think, for him. And he's had 5 really good games to end his season in his season in Tampa. So he was a bust in Baltimore, and he was very quiet in Tampa until the end, and he's kind of quiet now still. Granted, the Jets' offense is nothing great, but he's not showing the separation. He's not looking like anything special. So Crowder's back. We'll see if Mims is a number 1, and then you get you get somebody hopefully in free agency, or you draft somebody next year. But I still want to see what these guys can put together for the rest of the year. If there's anything there to be excited about, I don't know, but I know there's probably not. But I do want to see what the rookie has. I just want to see one of the guys we drafted actually on the field. So that's
P. Ryan got on the field last week.
He did, yeah, and he still got out touched by a 37-year-old Frank Gore. Like,
He'll
it makes
continue.
no sense.
He loves
Right.
Gore. Loves
Right.
him.
No, I mean, in every sense of the word. I think he loves Frank Gore more than we love our spouses. It's ridiculous. Like, whatever Frank Gore wants, Frank Gore gets, because a happy Frank is a happy life. Like, that's the only thing I could think. So we'll see. Allen's going to have a great game. We'll see. John Brown's probably going to go crazy. Diggs is, I mean, he had a great game against the Jets the first game, and that was his first game with the team. Now he's had six seasons or 6 games with them. And the Jets cornerbacks, they're not going to be able to stop him. Him and Allen are connected well. And the one thing you see with Diggs in Minnesota is he was always busting deep plays, just you know, straight line runner, go and beat everybody. But now he's actually running routes and making those contested catches.
He looks really good. He does.
Yeah.
He looks really good.
He looks like a much different receiver than he did in Minnesota, and they're using him differently. And he's getting the ball in short yardage things and plays and breaking them into something bigger, as opposed to before it was just run down the sideline as fast as you can. So, so Jim, you got Diggs in our league, and I hope I'm not playing you this week, but he's gonna go ballistic. But I do have Allen. I have Josh Allen, so I should get a pretty nice payday there. He's not running anymore. I don't know what happened. Josh Allen's greatest weapon was his legs. And now he just
he was fumbling too.
Yeah, he does that a lot. But man, he's so fast and he can run so well, and he's not doing it. He just wants to be a pocket passer, which, I mean, that's good. It's good for his health and it's good for his fumbling issues. But man, but they're losing games. When he runs, they're winning games. When he's just sitting back there passing, they can stop him because he's not the most accurate quarterback. So. I think that'll change. He'll be able to run on the Jets pretty easy. And the first game, he was just cruising all over the field. Nobody could stop him. He did have the 2 fumbles against us, but he was everywhere. So we'll see. But yeah, the line right now, what's the line at? Let's see how ridiculous.
12, maybe.
You guys have
That's
it
my
open?
guess.
Scores.
I don't.
Let's see. Jets, Bills, 12.5.
Wow, I was close. I wasn't, and I'm not looking. My hands are right here. I'm not typing or anything.
I like it.
Yeah, so 12.5, and Vegas still hasn't figured out how this line works, because it should be 28 probably in reality.
At least 14.5. Just to throw that off, but yeah.
Well, the Jets.
Yeah, but you'll hardly see Vegas go over 14 though. You know,
unless Kansas City's playing the Jets.
Kansas City's playing the Jets.
And they're 22, so it's going to be
then they can't lose their shirt, you know.
Right. But yeah, Stephon Diggs, 42 catches, 555 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he'll be.
Wow.
He's putting up some good numbers. He's gonna have over 100 yards in this game and a touchdown. So Josh Allen will go over 2,000 yards passing. He's at 1,711. So I expect a 300-yard game out of him, and it should be just easy pitch and catch, which sucks.
I can't wait for the recap show. Oh,
good. But we're gonna have to do the recap show because I have to defend Adam Gase. Everybody else wants him fired, but I've changed course and I got to stick with it, and I've got to keep everybody. I got to pull like the Aaron Rodgers, relax.
Yeah,
we're gonna get through this.
We're okay.
RELAX. Relax.
You get a neck.
We're gonna get through this.
You should get a neck tattoo that says "relax" on it.
Yeah. And no regrets.
No regrets.
There you go.
But no, we need to keep Adam Gase because he's really good at losing, and he's really good at losing by a lot. So, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter if you lose by a lot or little, but as long as Gase keeps losing, because we need that number 1 pick. This team needs so much, and we just keep ending up with the 6th pick, the 7th pick, the 9th pick, the 11th pick in the draft, and you just keep getting these mediocre players that aren't aren't doing enough. So what we need is that number 1 pick. You need to fire Gase at the end of the season. You need all of that ammunition. You need Trevor Lawrence. You need the Seahawks' first pick. You need that first pick in the second round to get some really talented players. And without it, it's just gonna the carousel is just gonna keep spinning. So Jets fans, stay calm. Let Gase finish this season out. There's no point in starting to win games now. There's no hope for the future. So
It's been 50 years. Why start now?
don't start. Just let this one finish. Just ride it out to the end, and maybe next year.
Are we all picking Buffalo?
Oh, Buffalo.
Hell yeah.
Buffalo, and 14 points easy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so I think we're all on Buffalo there, and I think the entire world
Is on Buffalo.
is on Buffalo. So if you have the balls to bet the Jets and the points, and they win,
Good on you.
Please let us know. Call in. I want to hear all about what that experience felt like for that 60 minutes of football. It had to be absolutely nerve-wracking and just a terrible experience to live through. But yeah, come on the show. Tell us about your win. And hopefully it made you a millionaire, because the odds are forever in your favor if they do win that one. So, all right. So let's shoot up to your Boston neck of the woods.
So in comes into town the 49ers, led by who? Jimmy G. So here we go. So, this Patriots team is hard to figure out. They looked absolutely terrible last week against Denver. I know they didn't practice a whole lot, but our offense, I just don't know where points will come from. Cam's leading the team in rushing with like 225 yards. The offense is averaging 5.1 yards a carry, so I expect to see a lot of rushing again. We don't have the receivers. Joe, where's Harry? Where's N'Keal Harry? The guy has zero separation speed. Zero. He just can't get away from anybody. And it's too bad because his body's so big. It's just he just can't separate against anybody. It's actually very frustrating to watch. The fact we took him as early as we did. He was one of the first receivers picked a few years ago. And I look at players like DK Metcalf and Hollywood Brown in Baltimore, and it's just, man, if the guy could just separate, and he doesn't know how to run routes. It always seems like he's in the wrong place. You know what I mean? And I think Cam is trying to be patient with him. Maybe Brady was right last year. Maybe that's why Brady never threw the ball to him, because he just was not where he was supposed to be. I kind of gave Brady some slack last year for that, not throwing to him because he didn't know the plays. And now we're kind of starting to see it with another quarterback. And I don't know how McDaniels is going to get him, involved more, because he needs to be. If you look at our receiving core, we have him, we have Edelman, we have Bird, another undrafted wide receiver, Ryan Izzo at tight end. And it's just, he had a couple catches last week and an awful fumble. It's just, where is this offense? We got Harris, an SEC beast running back, kind of as the lead back right now with Burkhead and White, with Sony Michel still out. And then how's Cam coming back? To me, Cam looked very tired last week. He didn't run the ball well. And, they said he didn't have the effects from COVID. I believe Belichick when he says that. But, boy, his play didn't show it. It just didn't show it.
He looked flat, and he looked old.
He looked exhausted, slow and tired. And I'm like, man, is he hurt, or is he feeling, something? I don't know. Did he lose weight? He actually looked smaller. I was sitting there watching the game. I'm like, man, he looks like he lost some weight. So, and again, supposedly he had none of the symptoms, and I believe that he didn't. But maybe it did affect him in some way. But I don't know. I'm a little wary, because as much as we know Jimmy G knows New England. This is kind of the same defense he left a few years ago. A lot of the same players. So, same scheme. I don't know how I feel about this game at all.
I can tell you how I felt about the last game, and I didn't get to share it with you, is I loved Cam's performance. His performance was outstanding.
Oh, sure.
And I think as much misery as Jets fans feel, there's nothing better than watching watching Cam come out and perform the way he did and lose that game to the Broncos team that the Jets, the only game that the Jets were in this year was that game.
Yeah.
So that was awesome to see.
Sorry. Right, John wasn't on last week's show because we all the week before said there's no way Denver's going to beat New England. We were all in agreement, and then John conveniently wasn't able to make the first show when they lost 18-12.
My foot hurt. I had a pull tuba.
You had turf toe? You couldn't make it up the stairs?
Walk into the other room.
Like, where's John? Oh, he can't make it. Really? Oh, okay.
It's just such a hard game to watch. It really was, because the kicker, and for those of you who've listened before, old friend of mine, his son is the long snapper.
That's right.
So I'm texting him through the game, and I said, not that I want your son to screw up, but please tell Jake to stop. Stop the ball so well. So then his dad texts me and he goes, I want to see how he does with a punt. And I said, I don't think you're going to see that. And then two perfect long snaps. So I said, your son single-handedly beat New England last weekend. So,
wow, look at that.
So good for him. Good for Jake Bobbemeier, long snapper for Denver, and good on him. But I mean, that was just a flat game to watch. Good thing Denver didn't have an offense, because that game, I mean, they were in the red zone. God, I don't know how many times. They did kick some long field goals, so they weren't in it every time. But I mean, that game could have been 42-12. Really could had they had an offense.
It was an ugly game.
And this is going to be an interesting game, because I don't know who the 49ers are.
I don't either.
They're so up and down. They came in, they handled the Jets and Giants, obviously, with very little effort whatsoever, and then just got steamrolled by the
Miami.
Eagles. Miami or the Eagles, right?
And
the
Dolphins smoked them 42-13 or something.
That's right.
Then they beat the Rams last week. So,
right. So I don't know what this team is. The line is 2 points right now,
and it's in New England, right?
It's in New England.
Yeah.
So it's a 4:00 game. It's 1:00, West Coast. So, my thing is, who's Belichick going to put on Kittle? Because you got Deebo Samuel too. So somebody has to cover Kittle the whole game. I would honestly put Gilmore on.
Ayuk.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm more worried about Kittle than anybody. Maybe put J.C. Jackson. He's been playing well in the defensive backfield. But I mean, I think you got to put Gilmore on Deebo Samuel. They run him backs out. What's his face there?
Mozart,
right? Yeah, he's out for the season, I think.
So he's not playing. So it's going to be a hodgepodge of running back. So we got to stop.
It's going to be Jerick McKinnon, and he's going to go crazy.
The one thing the Pats can do is stop running, though. They'll stop running. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about Kittle. I really am.
I don't know. I think McKinnon's going to have a huge game because like you said, you can't. Whoever you put on Kittle is going to take away from Samuel. So one of those two is going to have a good game. You can't shut them both down. Right. And then you're going to have Brandon Ayuk running on the other side. So you got two great wide receivers there with Ayuk and Samuel, and then you've got Kittle, which nobody can really stop. So you've got those guys, and then McKinnon out of the backfield. I mean, his running is okay, but his hands are what is really good. So anytime you get pressure on Jimmy, he could just dump off to McKinnon, which he's been doing. While Mozart's been out, McKinnon's been playing outstanding and catching a lot of balls too, which is really good. So that's going to be a hard one. But then again, Jimmy G could play like shit, and you just can't figure this guy out. We talked about that in the preseason show. Is you have a single digit QBR Jimmy G, and you have almost a perfect QBR Jimmy G from one week to another. Like you just never know which one. Like you said, like they lost to the Eagles, which makes no sense. They got steamrolled by Miami, which doesn't make any sense either. And those were home games, I believe, both of them. So, and then like you said, they go in and they take care of the Rams, which the Rams should have been able to beat them if the Dolphins and Eagles could. But that didn't happen either. So what's going to happen? They got to travel to the East Coast. You guys know how I feel about that, right? Automatic.
But it's not a 1:00 game.
No,
That's
it's not.
That's your theory
It's
for
not.
1 p.m.
Yeah, that is.
I don't
true.
know your
So,
4 p.m. theory.
we'll see. It's evolving. So we'll see we'll see how it comes out. But Jimmy G, he's coming home, but he's gonna want to play his ass off.
Of course,
against them.
Of course,
so, I'm going to expect a lot of throwing in this game, even if it's a blowout on San Francisco. I think Shanahan's the type of coach that's going to let him make a statement, and I would want to if I was the coach, especially against Bill Belichick. I would be like, yeah, thank you for this quarterback. Go, 45 points on the board type of thing. Why wouldn't you make a statement against that team? Like, hey, we're here. We just crushed the Patriots. We're back. We're in it. If the opportunity arises. But so, who do you have?
So, so of course, my heart says New England. My heart says New England. What I seen last week, I hope is not of things to come. I predicted the Patriots to go 7-9 this year, and I also had us beating Denver. I had us losing to San Francisco. Prior to all their injuries, they got almost all their guys back except their running back. I think Sherman's still out. So, but I don't think throwing deep is a strong point for New England anyways. So, it's so funny, Joe, because you're right. Jimmy G wants to. He's going to want to come in and shove it up Bill's ass. He's just going to want. But Bill's also going to want to do the same exact thing to Jimmy G. He's going to say, "This is why we let you go.
Right. This is my team.
This is my team, not yours. It never was yours, and that's why we traded you." Even though Bill really wanted him over Tom. Bill wanted him over Brady. So now Bill's going to have to show kind of save face. I'm really torn on this one. I am, because I just don't know what team is going to show up. I am factoring in the West Coast coming to East Coast, even though it is at 425. I will say in our pick'em, I did pick the 49ers. I did. Only because after what I watched last week, if that offense plays even a little bit better than they did last week, they're going to get shellacked by the 49ers. Mm-hmm. Let's face it, they're going to try running against a front four that is really tough to run against. Mm-hmm. So, and our defense is playing well. They almost have to play them kind of like the Patriots played Kansas City. Control the ball. But without a tight end, without Edelman playing like Edelman, he's dropping a lot of balls. He's just not getting open. I'm so confused at this offense. I hope to God we trade for someone. Any wide receiver. Sign Antonio Brown. I'd be happy with that. Just put somebody
You could have got Des Bryant. Des Bryant just signed with the Ravens practice squad. And what about Yannick? Yannick goes to the Ravens too, right?
Yes.
Yannick got signed. Some of the Ravens just moved to Minnesota. Now he's out.
Just moved, and they got rid of him because of money, I guess. So,
they suck. But
and that,
and he was on the last year of his contract anyway, I believe.
So they were going to have to pay him. So they weren't going to pay him, obviously. But I'm going with San Francisco on this one. I pick my pick'em with how I think the game's going to turn out. How I truly want it to turn out is New England kicking the shit out of them. I hope I get a loss this week and pick them, and I hope the Patriots prove me wrong. But after what I seen last week, and I know they didn't practice and they weren't healthy, but my God, they just could not do anything last week. In fact, honestly, in the third quarter, after the I want to say the Ryan Izzo fumble, I just went outside and kind of started putting some stuff away down into the basement. I came back up, and I want to say we got a pick six, so it was 18-12, and it was just terrible after that. Once again, Cam just didn't look right. Mm-hmm. His passes didn't look right. His body language didn't look right. I hope he plays better, because if not, we're going to get crushed by San Francisco. Absolutely crushed.
When you say you put some stuff where, you mean Patriot gear?
Lawn gear, my patio table,
Okay.
Patriot gear, yeah.
I wasn't sure. You said third quarter. I thought maybe you were. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you got pats all over yourself there, but
and I love them, but this is what I fear, and I feared this at the beginning of the season. So we play San Francisco this week, tough game. We go to Buffalo next week, which that was supposed to be mine and my brother's away game. I was gonna take my camper up there. We're gonna stay up there. Of course, we can't now. So we're potentially looking at a 2-5 start. I don't know how to act, Joe. Tell me how I'm supposed to act for this.
right.
Okay.
I'm just not used to it. I mean, do I sit like this?
Talk to Joe. Talk to Joe.
You know,
Joe can help you with this.
how do I walk?
Yeah, the best way to deal with this is to we'll do a session after this, but we'll have you lay down on the couch and we'll just kind of talk through it. You could talk about what you're feeling, and kind of how you feel betrayed and confused and scared all at the same time, and we'll get through it. I've been there, so I could talk you through getting through that. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Especially after the level of domination you've had for years, just expecting excellence, wins, Super Bowl titles, and now all the way down to Jetsville.
Right. Like, what is it like every year that I was up there? It was, Patriots will win 11, 12 games this year. Patriots will win 11, 12 games this year. They should go undefeated. They should, and that's how a season starts for a Patriots fan is 12 wins. For a normal fan, it's like, all right, let's get a playoff push. Let's do this. We could be in contention, in week 10. I'm feeling good about it. But the Patriots are like, 13, 14 games. Should be easy. Two losses on the schedule. Yeah, we got it. And that's it. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Every year, it's like, I get to sit back on Sunday and just enjoy football while other fans are pacing, yelling at their TVs. Why can't you kick a fucking field goal and win the game? And the Patriots just like, 28-0 at third quarter. The game's over. You're out there doing lawn work or,
And it was, for the last 20 years, I was glued on Sundays. I was glued on Sundays watching football. And I find it harder and harder to sit through a whole game when they look absolutely terrible. And it's not that I'm not a fan. It's just like sitting here is only going to piss me off. Let me go put my table and chair set down in the basement. So in case it snows in a week, I don't have to clear snow off them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So here's the good thing for the people in New England. When baseball season starts, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just going to continue mediocrity for a while.
So
you're not used to it.
So my brother made an excellent point. Our wide receivers for New England look like the Red Sox pitching staff. I mean, that's just what it is. That's my brother Shane. He posted that on a WEI post that me and him always comment on. And he goes, the Red Sox pitching staff looks just like the Patriots wide receiving group. I mean, it's just I don't understand it.
Right.
I don't. Right. And I'm not mad. I'm not going to burn my Pat scare. I don't blame Tom Brady. But I haven't felt this way since I was younger than 30 years old. Do I remember going through this agonizing pain? And thank God, God's going to give me, hopefully he'll get me to the age of 50 next year, where I can hit the big 5-0. But, I mean, that's going to give me 21 years since I remember this feeling. And it just, I just don't know how to act. I don't know how to sit. You know what I mean? I sit in a chair. I remember before I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? What's up? Now I'm like,
now you gotta
hide your stuff.
How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, you sit a little bit lower.
I just
your shoulders slump a little bit. Your chest isn't as puffed out. It's just
get angina. You get fake heart attacks watching the Pats games. But you know what? I was a realist at the beginning of the year. I said 7-9, depending on how everything goes. I still like Cam Newton. I do. I hope if he looks to start playing the way he did at the beginning of the year, sign him to a long-term deal. I'm good with that. I truly would be okay with that. Because what's the alternative? Now what's the alternative? What do we trade for Jimmy G? I don't want that. I don't want that contract. I think he's overpaid. But he's probably, now that I said that, he's going to absolutely roast New England. And we're going to.
Why don't you know what would be great? Go get Sam Darnold and let him show the Jets what he can really do.
That would be.
As long as we get Jamison Crowder too. As long as
why not? Somebody throw him in. It's a package.
Deal Harry for Darnold and Jamison Crowder. Did Jesse take that?
Right.
And a first.
Mm-hmm.
And a first.
What, you guys are going to give us a first?
Probably.
No, I'll take Harry and a first for Darnold and Crowder.
Harry in a first.
Yeah.
How about we give you Ryan Izzo? We'll give you our tight end, our starting tight end. Wait, then we'll swap tight ends. Let's swap tight ends because neither of them are doing shit.
I'll just switch.
Why don't we swap offensive players?
Yeah. What worse could happen? We
Nothing.
might win a game. We might win a game. No, we got to stick with what we've got. Stay the course. All right. So.
No, but I'm picking San Fran. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my pick for the week.
San Fran, absolutely.
So that's all three. I think they're going to win the game. They're just a better team. Yeah.
They are.
They're just a better team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Cam's going to have to run his ass off in this game. So, he'll probably have 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. So probably be a good fantasy play because he's going to have to throw a lot and run a lot and try and keep up. But it should be. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this game. I think it's going to be fun. And I've noticed, living in New England for as long as I did, Facebook's very quiet from all the New England fans. Very quiet on Sundays. It's very strange. And I'm not there to enjoy it, which pisses me off probably more than anything, but it's appropriate for my life. And it's actually a very telling sign of how my life actually plays out day to day. Whenever something good could potentially happen, something interferes and takes that away from me. So I will do it from afar, but it should be a good game. So with that, it looks like
game time.
Game time. Kickoff.
It's game time.
So let's call it a show. So for the fans out there, which we currently we have a couple people watching, so thank you for joining in and watching the show. For the Giants fans, good luck. I'm pulling for you, and I'm hoping for big Giants defense tonight. Defense. So until next time, please, if you enjoyed the show, subscribe and like the show. Leave your comments below on what you think. If you watch this at a later date, if we were right, wrong, it'd be fun to revisit if our predictions are on the mark or not. But until then,
hit the subscribe button.
Yes, subscribe. Wherever you find the button, hit it. We need you guys. We need to grow, and we can't do it without you. So please help us gain some traction. With that. Good luck tonight, Jim.
Good luck, Jim, even though I think you guys are going to lose.
G-Men.
So for John, for Jim, we will see you guys for the recap on Monday, most likely, or potentially Sunday night.
Ooh.
We'll see. All right.
Exciting.
Yes.
Goodbye, everyone.